Welcome back to the Slab Lab. I am joined by All-Star, perennial Cy Young contender, former Oakland A diehard baseball fan, current San Francisco Giant stallion, the Webb Slinger, it's Logan Webb. Take us through the toolbox. We're going to get a look under the hood right now of how you go about the business. Just pitch grips.
Okay.
Sinker, changeup, slider, cutter, four-seam fastball.
All right, let's do it. Sinker's right here.
Okay.
The thought is really just to kind of, I'm a big supinator, right? So
You are. You're a big super.
It's almost like I'm trying to cut it.
Okay.
Like I want to release it like this. It feels weird, but it's almost like I'm trying to go across it. Actually, one of the first guys I remember, probably 2018. I was watching Trying and Throw Bullpen.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this sinker, and I'm like, this is incredible. And I ask him, I'm like, how are you doing this? How do you hold it? And he shows me the grip. It's the same as my grip. I'm like, that doesn't look like mine.
That is not adding up.
And I'm like, well, how are you trying to throw it? And he's like, I'm just trying to throw it like a four seam. I'm like, whatever,
That's
dude.
not
Like,
making sense. No.
Then finally we got some different coaches in here, and it kind of dropped me down. And it's the same thing that I realized, like, now when I tell guys, I'm like, I just throw it like a four seam, except I just kind of throw it naturally. It's just kind of, I supinate it, right? I'm not trying to pronate it or make it do anything. I'm just trying to throw it.
Baseball Savant has 211 right-handed arm angles in its database. You feature the 18th lowest arm angle out of all those rock chuckers. Do you understand that that is also an element that makes you that outlier? And was there a conscious effort to get to that point with the grip, trying to marry release and grip? Was there a conscious decision made?
Yeah, for sure. We had Ryan Bannister and Andrew Bailey here before, and 2019 wasn't great. I was throwing a lot of four seams, and going into 2019, we had just tried to like keep going higher and higher, honestly. Yeah. You know, they're showing me videos of Glasnow and Bueller and some of these high, release guys, and like trying to do it, and I just couldn't do it. I was just kept trying. Kind of got my ass kicked in 19, 20, same thing. But that was before 2020 was the first time they were like, hey, we want to drop you down. Yep. And I think I was kind of like, I was a young kid. I'm like, fuck you guys. Like, I want to
know who I am?
I know. Right. No, not even that. I was like, I'm not trying to drop down. And going into 21 is when I've really bought into like, all right, I got to change something. If I keep having a 6 ERA, I'm not going to last very long in this league. And all off season just worked on trying to throw a two seam, see how low I can get. And it's just kind of stuck. I feel like each year kind of, like I'll start down or I'll start a little too high, and then we kind of find that sweet spot, and what we got here.
Well, talking about your arm angle here, we've seen you up as high as 27, then had you down to 21, 14 degrees in 22.
Low. Yeah, that was real low. 22
degrees in 23, and 22 degrees last year as well. So fair to say you found that happy medium.
Yes, like I said, I started going down, and then 22, I just was like, all right, I'm going to go way down.
Here we go.
That didn't feel great on the old shoulder, so I was like, let's get it back up to a good spot, and kind of just find that sweet spot, and I've been there ever since. I don't know what I am right now. It's probably right around 22.
Right around 22.
Yeah.
Change up.
Got it. The runner at second, and he got him swinging.
I kind of go back and forth, but this is the idea of it.
Yep.
Every finger is on the
you got an anchor
it's on the outer part of the seam.
Okay.
So here, there, then I'm also there, and then the thumb's just kind of, I mess around with it. I'll be here sometimes, there sometimes. It's kind of just the feel of it. But it's really these three fingers that I'm trying to get, and the thought process is to throw it off my middle finger. Same sort of thing. It's almost like I'm throwing a football, right? And it's like you watch Edgertronic or something, you'll see, and my hand's still somehow here. And then it's kind of, it's the late, and then that's when you'll see the middle finger come off of it. Kind of when I get in trouble is when it's a little bit early and it's coming off of both fingers. So the goal is to try to get it off that middle finger as much as we can.
Because you're trying to catch that naked spot, right?
I am. I'm trying to catch this, and then all of a sudden that seam shift that is on the side is now on the top, and it's getting the drop off instead of the side.
When that was first presented to you, or that information was something that you were just initially discovering, the idea of seam shift, because we've had the conversation about the sinker, and I talked with a guy by the name of Tarek Skubal, American League Cy Young Award winner. He throws a absolutely disgusting seam shifted changeup, and it's the same exact premise as you. What was that initial conversation like for you? Like, you want me to what? Cut this?
So
and it's going to go the other way?
Yeah. I've actually thrown this grip since 2017.
Okay.
But when I was higher, it wasn't as good. It was
Sure.
it just kind of, I was thinking pronate the
You
shit out of it.
inside of it.
And so finally, I dropped down. Bannister, Andrew Bailey, JP were like, hey, just try and throw it almost like a football. Like you're thinking the same as sinker, right? I'm trying to throw it like a football. They know I'm a big football guy, so that kind of clicked, right? I'm just kind of thinking like, okay, it's almost like you're cutting it, and it's more about the rotation than it is like getting out there. And it just kind of stuck with that. It's very inconsistent. It was last year compared to 23.
Well, it's been a work in progress for you. It's been something that you've tinkered with. You are a tinkerer. And it's been something that you've deployed against right-handers, you've deployed against lefties, you've maybe tapered off against the righties. It's probably more of a weapon for you against the left-handers.
Yeah.
What was the determining factor for you there? It was just a lack of inconsistency? Were you pissed off that you weren't executing the way you wanted to?
21's the first time. It was kind of the same with the sinker, right? It's the first time I kind of felt really like comfortable throwing it. And I think in the playoffs we threw a lot of them, and that was just kind of Buster saying, hey, just throw this. And I did. And kind of going in the offseason, I'm like, okay, maybe this is kind of a weapon that I could use. And that might have had something to do with me dropping down where I started throwing more and more and more of them. I think 23 was the year it kind of clicked. Like it was just one of those years where I threw, it was a good one every time.
Felt good coming out of the hand?
It felt good every
in
time.
the hand?
I think I had a couple games where I threw 70 in a game. It's not. That wasn't the game plan. It just, you get some days you're just throwing it, and it just felt good. But yeah, just trying to get back to that. I'm not saying I want to throw 70 changeups anymore, but hey, sometimes the game goes to that. But getting back to that comfortable feeling of like, hey, I'm confident in throwing this pitch in every situation, right? I think last year, there's a little bit more damage on it than I expected, but that's to come with throwing more in this game, and guys maybe sitting on it, or maybe there's something that I'm doing a little bit off, and that's the fun part of tinkering, right? Finding stuff in the off season, spring training, and I'm really excited about it right now, though.
Well, it's trust me, I've had many conversations just about how you've been evolving and how you've been going again, which is why you have been the target, the priority here. Sinker, changeup, show me the sweeper.
All right.
Before we show that guy, did you have to make a transition from a conscious decision to say, I'm going to abandon the approach with the gyro, I do a good job, I might even be predisposed to throwing a bullet spin pitch, but instead, my arsenal might ask me to do something different?
So the first time I was showed a sweeper grip, it was this one right here.
Okay, basic on the horseshoe off to the side.
I threw it in 2020, so I always, because I was a higher slot guy, I always threw a curveball, right? So it was a normal, and I'm thinking this, and I was showed this in 2020, wasn't a big fan of it, still felt weird throwing it. 21, I went back to this. It was good still. I think I was a little bit higher still then. 22, I dropped down low, and that just didn't work anymore. It was kind of spinning. It's when the changeup was a little bit better. And 22 to probably the beginning of last year, just kind of tinkering. I ended up landing on this one that I really like. So it is the sweeper grip.
Sure.
But this finger kind of just helps with the spin efficiency. Kind of just, because before it was here, and there was just something that I was doing where it kind of
spitting out of the bat.
And you look at it, there's just so much that goes into it, right? Like you look at the shape, it's the same shape, and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm down to like 20%, 30% spin efficiency, and we just kind of were like, hey, try to throw this, and I'm back. I was back up to 50%, 60%.
Get some stabilization there.
Yes, but the thought process for me is, I feel like I'm throwing a curveball when I'm throwing it.
Really?
I'm not trying to spin it this way. I'm trying to throw it like a curveball, because I feel like if I do this, I'm going to end up leaking out. Just going to kind of spin. Yes, like I'm trying to. So
what's the mental cue? Is there a verbal mental cue that you say to yourself or that you think to yourself? Because I hear guys talk about, I want to sling a pie. Depending on release, they might be thinking, I'm trying to work under this ball, right, to create that sweep action.
So Taylor Rogers actually showed me this. So when you think about a four seam, right, you're trying to spin it this way.
Yep.
With the sweeper, right, I'm holding it here. It's almost like the same thing, but I'm trying to spin it this way. So I'm spinning it down almost. So I get to the top of it and spin it. I'm trying to create a top spin, but it's just this. I'm trying to do this with it. That's kind of the key with that.
So you pay attention to spin efficiency.
Yeah.
You pay attention to axis.
I do.
Are those data points that are the most important to you when we start to talk about going through a pitch design session? Are there other things that you're more concerned with?
I think every pitch is different. With the sinker, it's the tilt plus the spin efficiency, right? If it's under 80%, it's getting more seam shift. If it's over 80%, I'm probably getting a little too square with it.
I was gonna say almost two behind it.
But that'll just show with the tilt, right? The tilt will just come up if I'm doing that. And then the changeup, it's really just the tilt, right? What is the tilt at? And then with the sweeper, it's really just the efficiency. Like the tilt kind of varies.
Am I ripping it? Am I ripping it?
But is the spin efficiency good? When you get into games though, there's no spin efficiency.
No,
so
we need outs, bro.
Exactly. I think the spin efficiency tells me like if I'm getting a little too far out with it, or if I'm doing a good job of trying to get to the top of it.
Nice. Four-seam fastball, pretty standard stuff.
Yeah.
How do you utilize this pitch though? Because the grip is what it is, but you being the outlier who, I mean, you got these guys spending more time on the ground than groundhogs. Like it's a ground ball dialed up whenever you want. So how do you utilize that four-seamer? What's the purpose behind it for you?
Yeah, I think just the way I throw, all the hitters kind of stay in that down region. And it was just something that I was like, I actually throw from a low angle. I have the vertical approach, right?
Yep.
You go look at my four-seam numbers. It's under 10. It's not good. It's not a good analytic
I wasn't going to say dead zone. I'll let you say dead zone.
It's not a good pitch. But it's just something that I can like change the eye level of guys. Like most of the time, I'm really not trying to throw it for a strike.
Right.
It's like if a guy chases, they chase. But I'm really just trying to move their eyes a little, just think about it a little bit so that I can get back to what I do well.
Well, that's why you kind of laugh and joke tongue in cheek like it's not great, but you understand, and this is what I love about you, is you can say that it's not great, but you understand what kind of a weapon it is for you because of what you do and because of the visual presentation provided. So then I think the cutter is probably something very similarly used for you in that regard.
So this is actually my favorite pitch right now. So this is the four-seam grip. I just tilt it a little bit, and then I tuck the thumb.
Tucking it.
So I've tried to throw a cutter for 4 years now, and the only time it's ever cut is once I tuck my thumb
out of there.
And I don't know why, but it works.
Wow.
Someone was talking to me about it, and they're like, hey, just try tucking your thumb. This day before I was facing the Dodgers, I threw a little bullpen. I was like, hey, I'm going to try to throw a couple. First time ball was actually negative, right? It was the first time it actually cut.
Actually cut. You'd be happy with a 1-1, and this thing is actually negative?
Exactly. First time I ever threw it was to Shohei in the game.
Let's
go.
Let's go. Why
might as well
not?
throw it. Kurt Casale got there the day before. We just signed him. And I'm like, hey, I just started throwing a cutter yesterday. And he's like, he's pissed. He's like, what are you doing, Webby? Like we're not going to throw this. And I'm like, let's just do it. And I said, fuck it. Like, let's go. I think it's second pitch of the game. And I threw it a bunch that game, and then a couple games after that. Kind of got away from it, and then at the end I was throwing it a bunch. And this spring I've actually gotten a decent amount of strikeouts on it. I've been throwing it a decent amount. It's kind of the same thought process as the four-seam, right? It's just something that I can do that just keeps guys off of that. And I feel like a lot of times with lefties, they'll start diving out over, right? If I'm going to do anything, it's like a sinker in. I'm trying to front hip that one. I love throwing that pitch. It's a dangerous pitch, though, if it starts to leak over, right?
High risk, high reward.
I'm going to keep throwing it. At some point, I'm going to give up like a 480-foot homer on it, and I'll probably think twice about it. But I've messed around with it a decent amount, and I actually threw one in 22. I remember Rowdy Tellez hit one about 460 in Maryvale. And
Elk Grove's own.
And he's looking at me, and I've known Rowdy for a while. He's in the on-deck circle after I'd done finish, and he goes, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm just trying something.
We're working on it, bro.
I'm just trying something.
We're working on it.
And I didn't throw it again until last year.
Really?
That was the last time I threw it.
He beat it out of you.
Yes, he beat it out of me. Actually, I did all right with it last year, and I've been throwing it. I like it.
And that kind of takes me to this next point of our conversation. You do an incredible job of essentially locking dudes up in the zone. Like you garner damn near the fewest swings in the zone. It's just silly that guys can't make a decision on stuff in the zone against you, yet the chase rate just continues to climb. Continues to climb. Listen to this, man. Chase rate in 2021, 48.8%. to 55.6% in 2022. 2023, 61%. Last year, 64%. You're just getting nastier and nastier, and you continue to fill up the zone more and more. So there's an error, there's an element of deception here. Is that something you are aware that you create? Is it a matter of, do you ever tinker with like moving on the mound, presenting these guys with different visuals? What do you think is the cause for, frankly, your nastiness?
I don't know how to answer that, but I'm trying to get them to hit the ball on the ground, whether it's, I know I don't have the best average exit velocity, but, most of the time.
Well, that's what happens on ground balls,
exactly.
right? We
so
know
it's
that.
Like, I'm trying to just present everything as well as I can down in the zone.
Sure.
And even the ones that are sometimes this far down that are hit hard, but it's on the ground, I'll take it, right? It's kind of the name of the game is, we've talked about it a lot, is I'm going to give up singles. I know that. You're always one pitch away. So that's kind of how my thought process has always been. It's like, try to get them to swing at the stuff down. They're not going to do any damage with it, right? Like the name of the game is, how do we limit damage? And if we do give up damage, it's attacking guys and it's a solo home run. I think that's the big one, right? You talk to
Just
guys.
worth one, make
exactly.
it worth one.
So I think you throw enough down there, the guys just start swinging, right? He's like, this guy's not going to throw me one
He ain't coming up here. He ain't coming up here.
And that's kind of the point of throwing some stuff up, right? It's like just like make them think about something different. I think when I do stay down there, the less chase that I get, right? Trying to mix it up. I'm just trying to do everything. We talked about kind of the sinker, slider, changeup. We've talked about it for years now. It's like getting that 30, 30, 30. It's like 30% sinker, 30% changeup, 30% sweeper. And then the 10% you can mess around with some four seams and cutters and stuff like that.
That's where you're at.
Exactly.
That's what the data tells us about you.
So it's just like not being too predictable, which I think last year I might have gotten into some predictable stuff. So that's what's fun learning about yourself. I wish I learned about it in April last year, but you learn about it after the season. You're like, okay, through a lot of this pitch and this count, no wonder why he hit it 450 feet.
That adds up.
That adds up. So knowing you got a lot of weapons to use and just trying to mix it up as much as I can.
And that's what's scary, is that you already, with the arsenal that you have, are continuing to refine, tinker, and get even better and finding new shiny toys to bring out of the box. I just feel really bad for the rest of the guys that are going to have to run into that kind of stuff. When we start to talk about preparation, the mindset of a competitor is something that has always intrigued me. And straight up, there's guys that have fuck you in them, and there's guys that don't have fuck you in them. You are dripping, you are overflowing. Your cup runneth over with fuck you. Let's take us through a regular season start.
Okay.
The preparation. You're at the ballpark, you got here. What do we do?
This is funny because I definitely have some fuck you when I'm out there.
Yes, you do.
But I used to try to start that from the minute I got to the field. And I think that just kind of wore me out. I came up, there's a lot of older guys, that was kind of the way they do things. Yep. They're kind of that way, right? Don't look at me, don't do this. And I tried that as much as I could. Instead of like, hey, you're gonna have that fuck you for 2 hours, 3 hours, now I'm having it for like 7 hours and I'm fucking gassed by the time I get to the game,
it's
right?
mentally taxing.
And like the day I pitch, I try to make it as free and easy. Like I'm trying to laugh with guys. Like Craw made a playlist. It's called the Horny Playlist. If you ever go on DJ B Craw, Spotify.
Get you excited about a game day.
Yeah, just guys hate it. It's awful music, but I just play it as loud as I can. Right? I'm just trying to have a good time and have fun, and then like hour or so before that's when it starts to kick in. It starts to lock in. And
I love the music thing.
Yeah.
On my day, I used to let anybody else play the radio because they were inevitably going to put something on that I fucking hated, and it was going to piss me off. And now we go, right? Now, and I'm good. And plus, I wanted them to do their thing. I'm going to need their help.
Well, I start the day off. I come in, I put Limp Bizkit on.
There you
go. To start the day for about 2-3 hours.
Throw your hands up.
Yeah, and then like I would say 2 hours before I start that. But yeah, I have a routine. I start 2 hours before. I put a heat pack on. Both, it's like on the dot. Heat pack on. Do that for 10 minutes. I do all my stuff with Tony Reale, our PT. All my stuff I do in the gym, exactly like. It's like an hour and 30 before depending on how long Tony takes. I just blame him for that. And then, yeah, get my cleats on, do all this stuff. At home, I do it in our performance center we have in the back, but it's 40 minutes on the dot every time. As soon as it hits 40 minutes before, I do all my stuff, I get going. You know, I used to be a big weighted ball guy.
Okay.
I've now kind of changed to the football, throw the football before.
Okay.
And then
What spurred that, if I can ask?
I love football.
Sure.
I always loved football. For a while after I got Tommy John, I just couldn't throw it. Like, it just didn't feel good to throw football.
Really?
And I think as I've, you know, maybe got some more arm strength, and I started throwing it last year, just like messing around with the guys out on the field throwing it, and I felt really good. And I started kind of incorporating that in between. And still, the day I threw, I was still throwing, you know, weighted plyos, but in between, I was only footballs, no plyos, and all of a sudden, stuff that you might have felt before started to go away, and it just felt like it kind of got my arm into a good pattern of like, hey, just get to this good spot. Like I said, I started doing it just as like
just to kind of.
I'm just gonna fucking throw this around.
Yeah,
like,
just
have fun
loosen
with
it
the
up.
guys,
Yeah.
like, you know, run around, and it's actually turned into part of my routine now. And I did it the last like 2 months of last year, and then I've done it all off season, all spring. It's felt really good. So yeah, I started doing that. This is great. And then go back to the time, right?
Yeah.
I get on the mound
exactly
20 minutes before the game.
Now we're 20 minutes out.
And then kind of go from there. You got the anthem.
Do you work hitters in the bullpen?
No.
It's just you have certain things that you're looking to execute. It's not a matter of going over hitters on the other team or just give me a righty, give me a lefty. We let the suggestion box back there call the pitches and you go. You have a different routine.
I used to be really worried, like if I was bad in the bullpen, I thought I was gonna be terrible in the game. And if you're bad at the start of bullpen before the game, you start freaking out. It's like, by the end of my bullpen, I'm fucking ripping it, right? And all of a sudden I get to the game and I'm fucking exhausted. I'm like, no shit, you just
threw a full side.
A full side just now. You know, I've always had a certain way of like, you know, I throw two seams in twice, two seam away, go four seam, cutter, change up, slider, take a break. Then I kind of do the same thing in the windup. And now, I don't give a fuck where it goes. I'm just trying to get loose. It's great when fans are talking, right? You're at a away stadium, it's like ball, and it's like, yeah, I'm trying to do that.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? You remember, right? You have games where you're in the bullpen and you couldn't miss a spot. You go out there, you give up 5 in the first, and you're like, what the fuck just happened?
I remember outing in Detroit. I thought I was dotting absolutely everything. I indeed was not dotting absolutely everything.
Exactly.
Maglio Ordonez took me deep twice in the same inning that day, Webby. Things not great.
Yeah, not great. And then you get out there some games, and I can't even throw a fastball to the plate, right? I'm like, this is going to be a rough day, and you're telling the catcher, hey, we're just going to find it out there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, good luck, pal.
You end up going 7 or 8, or, you know, you have a great game, and so it's just like kind of realizing that, hey, whatever you do out there, just find a way to get warm. Like, you're just getting warm, you're getting loose, you're kind of locking in. You know, by the end of the bullpen, I am trying to, for sure, like, kind of hit some spots and do some different things, but the beginning, it's like, just get loose. Like, don't try to be perfect. You know, I talk to young guys about that. I remember 21, I'm in Atlanta, and Atlanta's a little higher elevation, kind of different. That's the first time I pitched there. I'm throwing these two seams, and they're cutting. Like, they're like, it's not good, and I'm getting frustrated, pissed. Like, I don't know, I'm like fucking so
What's the
mad.
iPad telling you at that point?
No, there's no iPad. I do not do iPad before the game. I do not do iPad before the game.
I love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. I mean, this is an indicator of this is what I need to feel. It's time to feel, right?
Yeah. I remember Buster came out, and he's like, relax. Like, relax. It's like the same thing. It's like, you're going to find it out there, I promise. And I'm like, Buster, these are cutting. They're not even like, they're not staying straight and are like a little bit, they're cutting. And I'm ripping this shit. And I go out there and it went back to normal.
Fell back into place.
Just fell back into place. So it's like not taking too much out of what you're doing. There's no box score from what you do out there, right? There's nothing matters.
Beautifully said.
And so just get loose, get ready to go, lock it in, and then let the good shit happen when you get out there.
Trust the competitive gene in you, man.
Exactly.
That's something that you have always done. You've done very well. You've done an outstanding job of simplifying things. I think that has come across in a great way, just how you know who you are, know what needs to be done. And again, you being the outlier you have, if things aren't going well, almost at a 60% clip, you're inducing ground balls, especially over the last 3 years. So you have the ability to just go out there and compete. $2025 on deck. What do you have to do? What is something that you've thought about that can take your game to the next level? Because I know that you're not satisfied with your production. I know that the numbers are outstanding, but there is so much more in the tank for you, and I know you want to tap into that.
Yeah, I feel like every year there's been a pitch that's been better than, like, 23 was my changeup, 21 it was my slider. Last year it was more my sinker than it was anything else. So it's like, how do I keep those consistent? Like, how do I have, and right, you go into games, you're not going to have every pitch every game.
Never. Well, shit, I never did.
But realizing that I can throw all these pitches, for me, my favorite part about having Justin Verlander is that I get to see how he prepares and how he does things. And I thought I was pretty good at preparing until he got here. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out hitters' weaknesses, how I should attack these guys, and he kind of takes it to a whole nother level, and I'm real excited about that. I've kind of done it this spring, and I've never been a good spring pitcher, and I'm probably going to give it up now that I'm saying this, but I've done well so far. You know what I mean? Like, and I started just doing his scouting stuff.
Is this video?
Yes. It's video. It's everything, and I'm really excited about that. And I think it's just going to take my game to another level. I think it's going to help out the younger pitchers, right?
No doubt.
It's going to help out Jordan Hicks, who looks freaking awesome. He's freaking jacked right now, by the way. I don't want to give up too much now.
No, not at all.
But I'll start reading these scouting reports and see this guy hits this, and it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to throw the changeup. And all of a sudden, I mean, that's just kind of lazy, I think. And I was doing myself a disservice by not, hey, maybe you can throw this pitch. You can throw 3 other pitches. You just have to throw them here. I think allowing myself to like realize I can throw other pitches just gives myself, that's the 4-seam maybe. It's the cutter. It's the slider that day. It's just maybe, hey, I throw 70% off speed. I might throw 80% sinkers today. You
Coming
never
at
know,
you.
right? It's just finding all those little things that I think kind of elevate the game.
I got to tell you, I got to be honest. If I'm a hitter listening to this, I'm not terribly excited about the idea that you are getting better at figuring out how you are having the success. If I'm a hitter, I would much rather you going out there just trying to outstuff me one more time as opposed to you having a really good idea of the stuff that I can't get to, the shit that I can, staying away from those zones. Webby, I have no doubt that 2025 is going to have an incredible campaign in store. Listening to the way that JV has already impacted you, I know how you impact the younger group. You've got an outstanding support cast in the rotation as far as defense is concerned, as far as the offense of firepower that you guys have locked in. I think 2025 is going to be a fantastic year, not only for you, but for the rest of the boys in that clubhouse. Yeah. I want to thank you for the time, man. This has been fucking outstanding, Levy. I love every minute of it, dude. That has been the Slab Lab with the Web Slinger.